What's going on? It's time for another episode of Too Hard for the Radio, transmitting from the future free state of Greater Idaho. I am the one-armed madman. And from the Badlands of southern Montana, we've got Nolan 5150. Oops, I hit the wrong button. I was supposed to fade out instead of hard stop. But you know what? Shit happens around here.
Yeah.
That's why Too Hard for the Radio.
Straight raw dog.
What's happening, Nolan? Yeah, not fucking around.
Well, you know, I got good news. Went to the eye doctor today, so I'm going to be able to read soon.
Oh, really? Did he tell you how fucking terrible your eyes are?
I mean, he didn't make it sound like they were too bad. I guess, he did the retina shit, and he said everything looks good. I guess I'm farsighted and got astigmatism. And he said the reason I've been able to limp along for so long, I guess they're kind of like canceling each other out or some shit. I don't know. But
don't let that asshole sell you on LASIK.
Oh, fuck
That's
no.
a fucking scam.
Yeah, no way.
That's a fucking scam. What they don't tell you is you can only get it once, and it wears off in just a few years. So if you get it when you're like 45, by the time you're 55 or 60, you can't see again, and you're not seeing again for the rest of your life. And there's a chance they're gonna fuck your vision up.
Yeah. So does it get worse then? Like it gets worse, and you can't even.
I've heard
get
it can
glasses?
get worse. Yeah, I've heard it can get worse. I heard it goes back. Like sometimes it goes back to being just what it was. And at that point, you're like, you get a little glimpse of what it's supposed to be. And then it just goes, I don't know. Like I don't know anybody who's like been extremely happy with it. I think my great grandmother got it right before she died. So she was cool with it. Like she got to go to Alaska with good vision right before she died.
That's the way to do it for now.
So like, that's the way you do it.
Yeah.
You know, you don't fucking get it when you're 45. You can wear fucking contacts. I would never wear contacts. That just seems like a disgusting fucking process.
Especially for me, the doctor was talking about that, and I was like, well, I think since I've never done shit, I've never worn eyeglasses or contacts, whatever. I was like, I'll just start with some glasses and go from there. But I was thinking, because I'm a mechanic, so my hands are fucking filthy all the goddamn time. You think I want to be sticking my fingers in my eyeballs?
Yeah, I just can't imagine they would be comfortable. I mean, it's something. Whenever I got something stuck in my eye, it just drives me to the fucking moon. I just can't stand it. I mean, dude, teeth are the fucking worst. Dentures are the fucking worst. I can't even imagine what contacts are like.
Yeah. So I guess doctors have trouble with all the balls. Like they can't get a solid vasectomy or like I guess it's like LASIK's like a tit job. They gotta be redone. Or no, you said it can't be redone, huh?
No, it just goes fucked again. And sometimes like it doesn't work all the time. Like there's fucking risks to everything. When I got my spinal cord stimulator, they're like, oh yeah, you're going to be fine. It's just this little thing in your back. You won't feel it. We run the cord up. Don't worry. You know, this is a couple hours in the OR. Not a big deal. You go home the next day. Like 3 weeks later, because they told me not to move around, I was finally like, all right, I'm going to stretch. And I go down and I touch my toes. And when I come back up, pop in my back. And my back has been fucked ever since this day. And see, this is where the story gets really fucked up. They didn't want to give me meds for years, so I'm just suffering without fucking pain meds. And I had a doctor tell me one time, the pain meds don't take the pain away. They just make you not care about the pain. And we don't want that. And I'm like,
yes,
what's this? We don't want that. Like, I want that.
Speak
like,
for
that's
yourself.
exactly what I want.
Yeah.
Sign me up for that. So, like, they put me through run me down the line. They put every medication known to fucking man into me. None of it works. So they go, well, now you got to get the spinal cord stimulator. And it's like, all right, I get the fucking thing. It fucks me up and they fuck it up. So like when the thing lays energy down onto your spinal cord. It can go like to either side. And they put the thing in there and all the energy goes down into my right hand. I'm like, what the fuck? So the goddamn thing, I have to have it cranked up to like 30. And these things are usually supposed to go to like 8 is like the top. I'm up at like 30. Every time I sit down, I've got energy just shooting through my right hand. They still, like, they gave me pain meds at this point. I've got a doctor that's kind of like, well, we'll give them to you until we figure the spinal cord stimulator out. So then they go, oh, well, you know, we must have made a mistake. And now we got to do another spinal cord stimulator. And me being a dumbass, I go, all right, what's the risks like on this? And they go, oh, don't worry about it. It's all the same fucking spiel as before. Yeah. And I go, well, what about my back? And they like refuse to even acknowledge that my back has an issue. Like still to this day, they're just like, they just don't even want to acknowledge that something happened because of what they did. Yeah. And, we just take this little bone out of your neck. I should have right then and there just would have went, you know what? I'm going to find a different doctor because this is fucking crazy. But me being a dumbass and being in a ton of pain all the time, I go back and have the next one done. And now my neck is just fucked for life. Every day sitting in this chair doing work, it just cranks. I'm so glad I got this fucking hot tub. Every night I get out there and I just lay down and this is the best. And then I rub one out.
Wait. Which hand do you use?
Well, I can't exactly have this one in the fucking hot tub with me, Nolan. That would be a serious fuck. How did you break your hand? Well, I was jerking off in the hot tub and I didn't know that this thing wasn't waterproof. I mean, if you're gonna sell me something, at least tell me where I can and can't jerk off with it.
That should be standard.
This should be like right on the label. All right. Well, should we get into the news? We had a lot of news today.
Yeah.
Actually, before we get into the news, if for people who tuned into our last solo episode, I gave Nolan a little bit of shit for thinking like a leftist. I called him Sean Hannity, and he got a little upset after the show, and he was letting me have it and just really talking crazy, like things I'd never heard him say before. So I kind of just snuck over and hit the record button, and let's see what Nolan's really like in private.
Now I'm starting to see that a lot of them are actually just adult bullies. And the saddest part is that they were either bullied as children or they were the bullies and then they never grew out of it. And, I understand freedom of speech and opinions, but when someone writes that I'm a child predator solely based on the fact that I'm a trans woman, well, that's just bullying. Or even worse, in my opinion, are like the articles written about me using he pronouns and calling me a man over and over again. And I feel like that should be illegal.
Of course it should.
That's just bad journalism.
Bad. And that was me. That's why the episode didn't end up on YouTube. And I'm sorry, Nolan. I didn't really think that this was going to get under your skin so heavily. Do you have any defense of your actions here?
No. It's hard sometimes to think freely. I just feel really bullied right now.
That's the most insane video. These fucking people. And the crazy part is, it's like, these are going to be the people in power at some point in the very, very near future. And it's wild, like, how far off from... They live in a world where they literally, like, how could somebody possibly be allowed to do that? There's just no sense of reality. And that, like, hey... Other people have lives. They don't give a fuck about you. In fact, they can't stand you. And that's why America's favorite beer brand is now in the fucking garbage. And you would think that, like, I don't know if this fucking chick went to college, but you would at least think that they learned a bit about what free speech is. I understand free speech and everything, but I think this should be illegal.
Yeah.
Well, then you don't understand free speech and everything.
Exactly. Dude, I've been watching a lot of those. You ever watch the cop videos on YouTube where it's, you know, people getting pulled over and refusing to like give up their ID and stuff like that? It blows my mind how much the government just tries to, you know, steamroll over our constitutional rights. And it's sad because nobody really knows their actual rights. And, you know, like you said, free speech, it's pretty plain and simple, just like the right to bear arms. And it shouldn't.
You know what's actually crazy too is, so I know somebody very close to me works for the Idaho Supreme Court. And about a year ago, they were telling me that they brought in this group of fucking leftists to come to teach them how to argue down and, like, basically silence somebody who walks into the Supreme Court with the Constitution in their pocket. So it was like, here's the Constitution, here's what they're going to tell you about the Constitution, and here's the fucking sleazy lawyer fucking garbage that you're supposed to tell them to turn them around and walk them out the fucking building. And that's in Idaho.
Yeah. I can't imagine.
In fucking Idaho.
I meant to send you an article. We'll have to like get into it next episode or something. But there's apparently a transgender senator, Montana senator or something, and I've been hearing blips about like some riots.
Oh
and some
yeah,
bullshit
I know the
Helena.
one you're talking about. Just a psychopath.
Yeah.
How did somebody like that get voted in Montana?
I don't know.
It's just fucking crazy.
That's what I tell
like,
people.
that just shows you. That shows you how powerful a college town is.
Exactly.
Because I guarantee
That's
you
exactly what it
that
is.
that fucking senator or whatever the fuck they are, is a fucking, like, their God, what is it called? Their fucking area is in a college district. That's what I'm thinking. College district.
Yep.
You know.
And that's what
don't have it.
That's what I tell people, man. Like, you know, most people think of Montana and they think it's just a bunch of redneck hillbillies running around shooting guns, and I'm like, it's really the definition of a purple state, because there's overall the state population is so low, but then it's like you said, the two like major college towns are solidly blue for the most part. And then there's the rest of the area.
Here's what people don't really understand, too. I was getting in so many fucking arguments with my friends from San Francisco during COVID because they were just out of their fucking minds. Well, you live out in the middle of nowhere with fucking cows and shit. And it's like, yeah, I have cows next to my house. But, like, if I were to pluck you out of your fucking city, out of San Francisco, and set you in a car on Highway 84 driving through the Inland Empire, and I removed every license plate and every advertisement, you would not know if you're in Idaho or Santa Rosa.
Yep.
During this time, you know, like summertime, not in the winter.
Yep.
You could probably figure it out then. But it's, you know, the same thing here. We would be all for Greater Idaho if it wasn't for fucking Boise. And so, even though you've got psychopaths in your Senate, you guys did just pass a bill banning gender-affirming care for minors. So that's a good step. And they're really flipping out. And I think that's why this fucking psychopath that you're talking about was really flipping out, because they really just are out of control on the trans thing. I mean, it's fucking crazy. And with that, let's go to the WNBA.
Brittany, I'm Bill Roden from ESPN Landscape. It's really great to see you. It's good to know the prayers have been answered.
Great to see you. You're so
question,
great.
you've always represented so much throughout your entire career.
You're so great.
Access and, being able to do stuff. And I hate to put one more thing on your plate, but
because you just
there are a number
are so
of
great, you
states
don't
who
need
are
it.
aggressively moving to prevent transgender athletes playing. And I was wondering, again, I hate to put one more thing on your plate, but in terms of on your radar, where is that? You're going to have a tremendous platform, but where is that going to be on your radar in terms of advocating for athletes, all athletes, transgender athletes, to be able to play?
Oh, I mean,
Well, sir, I think that this should be illegal and they should all be thrown in jail. I'm a woman. It's ma'am.
that ranks high on the list of things that I'll be fighting for and speaking up against. Everyone deserves the right to play. Everyone deserves the right to come here, sit in these seats, and feel safe and not feel like there's a threat or they can't be who they are or like it's just all eyes on them. So I think it's a crime, honestly, to separate someone for any reason. So I definitely will be speaking up against that legislation and those laws that are trying to be passed for sure.
They don't want all eyes on them. If you don't want all eyes on you, maybe shut the fuck up.
Right.
And stop demanding everybody bow down to your fucking worldview.
Yeah. Stop
Isn't that
demanding all the
crazy?
attention.
They don't. Did you see the South Park episode where it was the prince and his black wife? Or we want privacy. We want privacy, and they're going around with their fucking signs.
That, yeah.
Privacy, 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 privacy. It's fucking crazy. They don't have to feel unsafe at a WNBA game. Yeah, because there's fucking what? The new KKK is out at WNBA games looking for fucking trannies to hang at halftime.
Well,
I mean, what the fuck are we talking about? Nobody goes to your fucking games anyways.
Exactly. That's what I was gonna say. How many people are in attendance besides the players and the coaches and shit? There's 5 people in the stands.
It's fucking crazy.
Was that the chick that got arrested in Russia?
Yeah, the chick.
Yeah,
the chick.
Okay.
And you definitely cannot see an Adam's apple moving up and down while she is talking.
Yep.
And there are definitely not pictures of her on the internet with a dick. So don't go look those up. That's an evil AI trick that you should not fall for.
I don't want that on my search history.
Oh, man. Where's this other video that I have with the people that are going to save us? Man, here we go. I'm just going to have to go to the well and find it here we go. We do have people that are going to save us, and here's one of them.
You to a public debate to defend your comments attacking us as racist. In the very first paragraph of our website at nationalstraightpridecoalition.org, we say we're there to defend all races and colors. You pulled out Caucasian. You didn't have any ramifications after, which we put in our manifesto per se. You attacked us as racism. You pulled the race card to pull in attacks against us, to justify attacks against us in that park. And when they come, you're going to turn right around and say, well, we deserved it. We haven't done anything. We're a totally peaceful racist group.
This fucking guy. That's the best.
We say we're here to defend all races.
That was the video of the day for sure. One of my tenants showed me that earlier in the day. At least everybody fucking started laughing like you're supposed to, instead of like screaming him down like he was some fucking well, he is kind of a crazy lunatic, but I think the people in the back screaming him down are probably a little bit crazier. Well, what else do we got here? So, as we know, all of this is coming out of the universities. And like I've been saying, look at this fucking WNBA player and their values. The women's sports issue is not a war worth fighting. Give it up. Yeah. We don't want kids going to these schools. I think you've come around to my position on this. This is, if you need any more convincing than the evidence that we've given so far in the show, we're going to read a little bit from an essay that I had to peer review this week about ancient Greece. So this is what they're teaching your kids in school. And let me add, this is a hard class. This is one of the harder classes in the school. So this person had to make it through supposedly difficult classes just in order to get to this class. Here's the essay. History is what is taught about events that have happened in the past. The Greek world takes place in the past and is needed to be examined. Plays were written about things that had happened because it was an interesting thing at the time. Riveting. Just fucking riveting. And you know what I thought of? As soon as I fucking read this, something went off in my head.
So I think it's very important, as you have heard from so many incredible leaders, for us at every moment in time, and certainly this one, to see the moment in time in which we exist and are present, and to be able to contextualize it, to understand where we exist in the history and in the moment as it relates not only to the past, but the future.
Jesus.
History is what is taught about events that happened in the past. This woman, this girl who wrote this, she's going to be president someday.
Fuck yeah, she is.
I mean, you may think this is garbage, but she's going to be president someday. And in fact, this may be a little bit more coherent than what we just heard from our vice president.
Yeah. Yep. What do you, that
she's on drugs.
Yeah. Not the good kind.
She's on drugs. Benzos. It's got to be benzos. She's just fucking looped, man. Have you ever taken a lot of benzos and just been fucking looped, and then you wake up the next day and you're just like, holy shit, I just fucking talked to somebody that I can't stand for like a half an hour last night, just fucking slapping, chainsawing somebody's fucking ear off.
Can't say that I have had that experience.
Oh, you are missing out, my friend, because it is a fun experience. All right. Let's hear a little bit more from this essay. Throughout history, there is always something new to be learned or thought. There is always information that can be hidden within text that can be found the more is studied. Research is important to understand the ways this culture changed how it's perspective or how it's perceived today. Most don't see fate as much as it was prevalent within the Greek world. Fate can be changed over time. It's all about the consequences in which the person believes will happen if they don't accept it. Those are words to live by.
Are you getting like some juvenile ChatGPT vibes? You think she just phoned it in?
No, I thought that at first, but dude, I told ChatGPT to write my paper was about relating Plato's cave to the Matrix. Have you ever heard the story of Plato's cave?
I don't think so.
Well, let me tell you the story of Plato's cave. Plato wrote in the Republic, which is essentially his blueprint for a perfect society. And in the Republic, he has the cave, the analogy of the cave. And it's a fictional conversation between Socrates, who is widely considered to be one of the smartest men of all time, even though we don't have any of his direct writings, but like everything directed about Socrates leads it to like him being the fucking man in Greece. So Socrates is waxing some fucking poetic shit onto Glucon, who is Pluto's brother. And he says, imagine a cave where prisoners are tied up for their entire lives. Behind them is a fire. Between them and the fire are people who are walking back and forth with sticks holding up different random carved objects. For those people, the entirety of reality is shadows on the cave. Nothing but shadows on the cave. But you let one of these guys loose. He goes out of the cave. He sees sunlight for the first time. His eyes burn. He is frightened. He's got anxiety because he's never seen anything like this before. His world is darkness and shadows. Nothing but darkness and shadows. So he finally gets used to the world around him, and he has to go back. And he has to go back in and tell everybody what he's seen. And once you go back in, what happens? Your eyes go to shit again, and you can't see. Maybe you're in more pain. Maybe you walk into something and bump your head and you're bleeding. So you get to your buddies who've been, these are your people that you've lived with your entire lives, and you tell them this world is a fantasy. Reality is something that I can't even explain. And you tell them the story, and you tell them about your eyes hurting, and you tell them about bumping your head on the way back in, and they go, you're fucking crazy. You have no idea what you're talking about. Not only are you crazy, but you're stupid, because look at, now you're in pain.
Yeah.
And does that remind you of anything in contemporary society?
Well, you said you had to compare it to the Matrix. That definitely.
Oh, I already told
Yeah.
you. Damn it. I was going to make you guess. Yeah, that's the plot of The Matrix.
Yeah.
It's 100% the plot of The Matrix. And I had ChatGPT write an essay on that. And it was pretty good. I mean, it wasn't nearly as good as mine, but it was way better than this piece of shit. And I really laid into this fucking cunt. I was pissed because I was up late. I had to go. This was like the third one I'd done. It's like 1 a.m. And I spent a lot of time on this shit. My essay's fucking good.
Yeah.
I took it into the writing center today, and they're like, this is good. We're learning shit from this. This is fun to do. And, I start reading this, and then I have to fucking correct, like I have to do notes. So I have to add a comment every time something's fucked up. And every sentence is fucked. It's all just word salad, Kamala Harris, gobbledygook with no research done. And I was fucking pissed. So I just laid into her. I was like, this essay is bad. It's got a long way to go. It's unresearched. It's poorly written. It seems like you threw it all together with a bunch of word salad just so you could get 4 pages to turn in.
Yeah.
You got a lot of work to do. And then about 20 minutes later, I went, uh-oh, I've gotten in trouble quite a few times for saying shit like this throughout the time I've been in school. Let me see if I can delete it. Oh, no, can't delete it. So I had to do a quick CYA email and send her out an email being like, hey, I'm sorry. This was a really hard essay. No, it wasn't. I wrote it in 4 hours. But, I gotta cover my ass a little bit here. So we'll see if I get fucking reamed for that one. But, it was just... This is what it was.
Today is today. And yesterday was today yesterday. Tomorrow will be today tomorrow. So live today. So the future today will be as the past today as it is tomorrow.
Dude, that chick sounds high as balls.
I have to confess that was AI.
Oh. Well, shit. I mean,
but the fact that now that you think back, like the slurring was pretty bad and everything. But the fact that you react the way you do doesn't say much about the AI to me. It says more about how fucking insane this woman is.
Right.
And this fucking, at one point when I was reading that essay, I go, this has to be an ESL student. Like this, like English has to be their second language. There is no fucking way this is an English speaking person. And I go and I look at the name and it's like Cynthia Butler. It's like, oh, great. Fucking white girl. And then once you start reading it in white girl language, it starts to sound a little bit more like what she was going for. And these are our future leaders, elites of the future.
That's one of the interesting things I heard with the whole Tucker stuff was putting out a bunch of AI generated bullshit clips, trying to just run a smear campaign.
Yeah, and I think basically everything that got put out about him made him look better.
That's what I heard. And that's what I heard the scam was. They're gonna like say that it's true on the ones that came out, and then I don't know. Then they're gonna like put out some really bad ones.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, he's got to have some serious like restraint to be looking at these and just be going, those motherfuckers. I've got so much shit, but if I don't keep my mouth shut, it's going to cost me millions and millions of dollars. I don't know that we'll ever get the full story on why he got fired.
I doubt it. We can't even get the fucking Epstein client list. So,
oh, I mean, who's that? I mean, at this point, do we even know who that is? I mean, I kind of remember a guy that got killed in a cell. Was his name Epstein? Huh. I don't know. Whatever. Let's go to Elon Musk.
It's it's a singularity like a black hole because you don't know what happens after that. It's hard to predict. So I think we should be cautious with AI, and I think there should be some government oversight because it affects it's a danger to the public, and so when you have things that are a danger to the public, like let's say. So food and drugs. That's why we have the Food and Drug Administration and the
and they did so great.
Federal Aviation Administration, the FCC. We have these agencies to oversee things that affect the public, where there could be public harm, and you don't want companies cutting corners on safety.
That would be horrible.
And then having people suffer as a result. So. That's why I've actually for a long time been a strong advocate of AI regulation.
That's funny because I've been following Elon for a while and I can't remember him ever saying anything about fucking AI regulation. Can you?
Nope. Nope.
I've watched him on fucking Rogan and I've heard him complain about AI and say we need to merge with it so it doesn't beat us and all this other crap. I don't ever remember him talking about regulations. I think this is kind of convenient that, when the next episode comes out and this will be, well, I guess this will be before. Yeah, so when the next episode comes out, we're going to go over this shit a little bit. But it just seems like he's trying to buy himself some time. Mm-hmm. Somebody else put out something that people like and he's losing his ass on Twitter.
Yep. I think I wonder if it has anything to do with the Neuralink. Maybe they're not letting him do the kind of, he probably wants to fucking slap that shit in some humans. Haven't they already?
Not yet. I mean, not on the record. This is something I asked Guy about when he was on. I asked, are there some elites out there that have some sort of brain-computer interface? Or like in his book, he had, the guy had a bone-conducting headphone sewn into the side of his neck. And are there people out there that already have this, that are able to, maybe have a producer behind them that can feed them information through this thing? I don't know. It seems like something that would be very fucking useful for a politician.
Yeah, or it's definitely useful in military conditions, spy operations. I would almost I would definitely bet that they already have that kind of shit in the works, or no, I mean in operation.
Yep. And how about like a F-22 Raptor pilot?
Yep.
Think about being able to communicate with your fucking airplane quicker than being able to use the stick.
Or
I mean, the helmets that they have with those HUDs on them, they're like $800,000 a pop. Imagine being able to communicate with that thing. Hey, I need to see a satellite image of this area over here. And then all of a sudden, boom, you've got an overlay of the satellite image in your fucking... I need to be able to control this drone. So then over in another screen, you've got a drone feed where you're able to use a joystick or your mind to just steer this thing right over in. And maybe you can do it from the comfort of a fucking office while there's a drone, with a drone that's connected directly to your fucking brain.
Yeah.
Through the internet, through, networking or Bluetooth or whatever they're using for shit like that. I wouldn't be surprised if the military has a transhuman division, that DARPA and the military, that they have some sort of transhuman division that we don't know about. We're not going to know about for a really long time. But I would bet, man, there ain't many things that I would bet all my Bitcoin on. We'll get to one of them later in the show. But I think I'd bet all my Bitcoin that the military and DARPA have got some fucking super soldiers that can do some shit that would really blow our mind. Even for somebody like me who reads a ton of science fiction, I bet they are able to do some shit that we're like, whoa, we didn't know that was possible.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it kind of always works out that way. Science fiction gets close, but they don't ever nail it completely. So yeah, I think they've definitely got some crazy shit. But, at least Elon Musk, he cares about people.
Oh,
so
yeah.
That was his main, that was his main deal. He was scared that people were going to get hurt. So it's a good thing that he's in charge over there at Tesla. Let's check in with Tesla.
Video of the moment that a Tesla in self-driving mode started braking unexpectedly on the Bay Bridge, causing 8 cars to pile up.
Yeah, it was a mess. Crown 4's Amanda Harry has a look at the video and reaction to it from a technology specialist.
New video of a dramatic crash on the Bay Bridge. A Tesla, believed to be on autopilot, started braking, causing an 8-car pileup on Thanksgiving.
Whoopsies.
You can see in the video from
On
California Highway
Thanksgiving.
Patrol
That's
that
great.
traffic was moving well just after 12:30 in the afternoon.
Honey, I'm drunk. Let's put the Tesla on autopilot for a while.
Then, a white Tesla put on its left blinker, moves into the left lane, and stops, causing the car behind it to crash into it, followed by 6 more cars. One vehicle even gets pushed up against the wall of the bridge. According to CHP, the driver of the Tesla was in full self-driving mode. One industry expert says he wasn't surprised by what happened.
Of course
Figured
not.
that most likely it was something related to phantom braking, which is a very common problem with
Phantom
Teslas.
braking.
National Highway Traffic Safety Administration
We
has
got
been
phantom
investigating
AI.
phantom braking incidents on Teslas for quite some time. And as it turns out, when we saw the video the other day, that looks like exactly what happened.
Sam Abu-al-Samid is a principal e-mobility analyst with Guidehouse Insights. He explains
E-mobility
why
analyst.
a Tesla may phantom brake.
The way they use the camera sensors on the Tesla vehicles, they don't have radar or any other type of active sensor that can accurately detect measurement. And sometimes the cameras will misperceive what they see, and they'll think that the camera system will think it's seeing something that's not there, and react to that and slam on the brakes.
9 people were treated for minor injuries, including one child who was
But he cares
hospitalized.
so much.
The National Highway Traffic
Hospitalized
Safety
child.
Administration is investigating the crash.
I bet you Elon showed up at their hospital room with like a big bag full of money, just saying, "Hey, my fucking car, they don't ever do this. You can put it on again. Christmas time, put that motherfucker on self-drive."
Yep.
As of now, CHP says it can't confirm if the full self-driving system was active at the time of the incident.
Wait a minute. It can't confirm that it was on full self-driving mode. It was on the middle. It was in the middle of the Bay Bridge. It put its blinker on and came to a complete stop.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure. Go.
They should have. They should be able to get the data off of, whatever onboard computer or some shit on that. They should be able to download every single thing that's going on.
You really think Elon's going to make that data easy to come by?
No. Yeah.
That's going to be a pain in the ass to get. You're going to have to get specialists and all kinds of, I don't know. Let's finish this bitch
But
off.
it does say in the report that the driver should still have their hands on the wheel and have manual control of their car. A message echoed by Abu Samit.
If you have a Tesla, don't use self-driving because it's not self-driving. It is not actually capable of safely driving itself.
Grandma's house.
It is at best a sophisticated driver assistance system.
Amanda Harry, Cron 4 News.
There's always the story of the like, I don't remember where it is, but there was a fucking show that I watched where some guy comes back from war and his wife gets killed in the car with his best friend, and she bites his cock off and they have to yank it out of her mouth.
What the
Fuck you, Elon Musk. I care so much about, we have to make sure everybody is safe.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the AI is just going to take over the world. I can't get a car to drive straight on a bridge, but this chatbot is going to take over the fucking world. Fuck you, man. I don't believe you. And this motherfucker is just straight up controlled opposition. All of those regulation agencies that he's talking about right now can end him with a swoop of a pen. They go, you know what? We don't like SpaceX anymore. We think NASA should be the premier rocket launching industry in the world. We're just going to make it impossible for you to do business.
Yeah.
And, maybe he'll go to China and succeed there. But they can make his life very fucking difficult whenever they want. And I wouldn't be surprised if there's some sort of fucking play going on here where the regulators are coming to him being like, hey, we need to get our hands in on this AI. We got to get money coming in. We've got lobbyists over here telling us that we need to be bringing this up and that up. And there's money to be made here. And we need you to go out and say that this thing is dangerous. That's kind of what I think is going on. Who's telling him that, or maybe just putting some pressure on him? Who knows? But you can't tell me that this fucking guy who can't get a car to drive straight is actually scared of this fucking chatbot, which I don't think is much smarter than my predictive keyboard.
Yeah, I think it would be a little bit scary for sure if Eli came out just fully backing AI, considering that, he's on the forefront of all this technology bullshit anyway. If he came out fully supporting it, I'd be like, But like you're saying, it's a play. He's coming out like hesitantly, so the public will be like, oh, wait a second, maybe he's not a robot.
Yeah, he needs to incorporate it with Twitter somehow. Who knows how he's gonna, but he's got some fucking plan to make money off of this fucking thing. All these people are licking their fucking chops because they know that there's money to be made.
Yep.
We're gonna do an episode here, hopefully next week, depending on if you watch that or listen to that podcast or not, about nuclear energy and how regulations destroyed the entire industry from within, not from external forces, from within. That's an important fucking thing. We'll go over that next week. I've got another, while we're on the subject of ChatGPT, I have another video, but I think we need to get into the mood a little bit for it. You ready?
Global temperatures are on the rise. The world is heating up. Ask anyone in Asia braving this heat wave right now. But guess who else is feeling hot? ChatGPT, the open AI chatbot. And to cope with the heat, it likes staying hydrated. So ChatGPT is guzzling water. Apparently, every 20 to 50 questions, it needs a bottle of water. And while getting trained, it consumes some 700,000 liters of water. Sure, hydration is great, but this is worrying. Are global water challenges worth having ChatGPT do our English homework? Here's a report.
OpenAI's chatbot was launched in November last year. It's called ChatGPT. You've probably heard of it. Well, unless you're Patrick, you know, the SpongeBob cartoon character who lived under a rock. But jokes aside, ChatGPT has been the talk of the town. It has soared in popularity. It can answer questions with near accuracy. It can write poems for you, do your math homework, and even write code. Over 100 million people use it every month.
I need to
All in
email
all,
a link to
it's
that
been making
stupid
waves.
fucking
But
woman who
speaking
wrote
of
that
water,
paper.
ChatGPT is now under scrutiny for having too much of it. Yes, you heard that right. A new study is out.
I'll bet
It's been conducted in
ChatGPT
the
drinks
US.
Bud Light.
It says that
They should just give
ChatGPT
it that.
has been
Oh,
guzzling down water,
absolutely.
and lots of it. For every 20 to 50 questions, it needs a bottle of water. That's
Damn.
500 ml. And may we add, it's fresh, clean water. Yes, it's not been recycled or repurposed.
Can't.
And sure, 500 ml doesn't seem like much, but it adds up. Remember, ChatGPT has millions of users. Think about the number of questions, the number of recipe suggestions, and holiday homework answers. So just imagine how much water it's been drinking and how it's increasing its water footprint. This is an environmental indicator, a lot like a carbon footprint. It measures the volume of fresh water used. But we'll get to more of that later. First, the golden question. How do AI chatbots use water? Just to make it clear, chatbots don't directly drink the water.
Oh,
It's used by
really?
their data centers. The water helps them generate electricity and
Wow.
cool the racks of servers. It is
Crazy.
important.
Hey, if
Chatbots rely on
ChatGPT has
thousands
a
of
mouth, it
servers
has an
that are
asshole,
spread
right?
across the world. They're high-functioning machines, and they need to be cooled down regularly so they can maintain optimal
Need to
performance.
turn that
And the more
asshole
complex
into
the chatbot, the more
into
water
a
it needs. Like GPT-3,
dick pussy.
it's more advanced, and
Whatever
so
they're
it's
called.
also thirstier. While training GPT
shit
alone,
box.
about 7,000 liters of water were used. But there's no publicly available data. Even this research we're talking about is not peer-reviewed. It's been shared ahead of its publication. Because there's very little research on the environmental impact of AI. Experts say that AI models have a water footprint. It's massive, but it's been under the radar. Remember when Bitcoin was stuck in this messy puddle too?
Oh.
Millions of so-called data miners are gaga over cyber currencies. They use it to extract wealth. But little do they know, this comes at a high price. Because it takes water to generate each unit.
They played
Every
out my
single
fucking
transaction
soundtrack.
burns electricity. Enough for an entire household for a week. And this is highly problematic. Artificial intelligence may get away with this, but these problems have real-world consequences. The water crisis is gruesome. 1 in 10 people lack access to safe water. 1 in 4 don't have access to basic sanitation. And about 1 million people die from it each year.
Let's
A
shut off
child
their
is
energy.
dying every 2 minutes.
Too.
So this
They-
is serious.
we gotta
and companies need
starve
to
their
acknowledge
energy.
their role in it. They need to take social responsibility and make data more transparent. Water challenges are growing, but so is collective action. There's more global scrutiny, so companies can't stay under the radar anymore. It's no longer going to float their boat.
Very interesting that anytime Bitcoin goes on a run,
Mm-hmm.
people start screaming about the environment. Oh my God, the environment, the environment. But as soon as ChatGPT hits, not a soul.
Yep.
I had to go to India News to get that. You can't find that on MSNBC or CNN. Why do you think that is, Nolan?
Probably because we have plenty of water and they're just trying to make it sound like we're in a drought and water's scarce to keep people afraid. But that wouldn't fit the narrative of pushing AI and ChatGPT.
No, these people, I think these fucking godless heathens want an AI overlord. I think they want a god.
Oh.
I think that they don't give a shit that this thing drinks water like a fucking whale. I think that they are so enamored with the idea of a digital overlord, a god, that an actual god, unlike this fucking fake man in the sky who is forsaken us all. You know, I really think that these fucking people just don't give a shit. And another reason that you're going to get it with Bitcoin is because the dollar is supreme.
Yeah.
You can't have people knowing that their dollars aren't worth anything. That's fucking against the narrative. You can't go against the worth. I mean, Bitcoin. Ugh. What's that? That's for those Trump supporters.
Bitcoin bad. Dollar
domestic
good.
terrorists. Dollar good. Are you Bitcoined up yet, Nolan?
No, not yet.
We got to get you Bitcoining. All right. Another thing I'd bet all my Bitcoin on, Eli Tomac's career is over. He fucking tore his Achilles tendon on Saturday night racing. He was in the lead, overjumped a triple a little bit, and you could just see his foot crank. And done like dinner. I've known people that have torn their ACL, or I mean their Achilles. He's fucking done. And dude, it's the same shit that I've been saying. These bikes are too fast. The tracks are too fucking crazy. And people, now we got too many fucking races. There's just more and more races. Ken Roxon's not doing outdoor this year. He says, fuck it. I'm going World Supercross. It's easier. I'm so fed up with this shit. At the end of the main on Saturday, 3 factory riders finished. 3. We're around 16 of 17. We're not even into outdoors yet, and 3 factory riders are healthy. You think we've got an issue?
Yeah, a little bit.
It's fucking crazy. I mean, nobody wants to talk about, like, and it's wild too. Like, I was in the chat on a fucking on a live show a couple weeks ago, and I was talking this shit like the same thing, and people are calling me, stop being a pussy, man up, rah, 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 rah. And it's like, motherfuckers, you've either never thrown a leg over or you suck. Mm-hmm. And you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I mean, if anybody's been through it, I've been fucking through it. I know what it means to man up. And this is stupid. The tracks are fucking destroyed by the end of the main event. It's just a nightmare. I don't even look forward to it like I used to. Yeah. It's not competitive. Like, I was watching old 125 races the other day. Dude, they're fucking bad. I was watching some Ryan Hughes and Mike Brown battles from back in the day. And dude, you blew a corner on a 125 and you had to get back on your horse. Otherwise, you were losing seconds. I mean, now these bikes are so fast and they're so easy to just get back on it that it's taken, it's hard to say it's taken a lot of the skill out of it because these guys are insane. They're more skillful than they've ever been. But it's taken, the requirement for bike skills, has gone way fucking down. I mean, who's the king of the small bikes? Bubba Stewart. And why was he the fucking king? Because he had better bike skills than anybody in history. He could scrub. He could get low in corners. He was fucking so goddamn fast. This is so crazy how things changed so fast. They had an Instagram poll up during the race, and they asked who's the best bike mini bike rider or best 250 rider of all time. And it was 80% of the people said Jet Lawrence. And it's like, did you not watch Bubba? Holy shit, he was fucking insane. He was so much better than everybody. The last year that he rode on a 125 while everybody else was on 250s just to keep it interesting. And he smoked everybody. He didn't get any starts. He smoked everyone. It was beautiful. All right. I got one more video for us. I sent you this one. This is this KTM video. I got a clip from it. I told you to try and guess which part I was going to clip. We'll play the clip first, and you can tell me if you thought I was right and why I clipped it.
KTM achieved its goal, and they did sell every one of the 520s that they made. And while KTM didn't win the bragging rights as the first four-stroke to win under the bright lights, their gamble paid off. They proved that European motorcycles are not gimmicks and they should be taken seriously. They saw an opening and took it, and that is the bike that made the company we see today. It laid the foundation for turning KTM into the brand that we see, which is the most savage motorcycle company in existence, a company that is willing to continually take risks, to push boundaries, and to win at all costs. And they've been following that formula ever since. They've continued to build bikes that Japanese manufacturers won't. When four strokes took over motocross and supercross, Honda, Kawasaki, Yamaha, and Suzuki all but abandoned two-stroke dirt bikes. But KTM didn't. They kept developing those motorcycles, even adding fuel injection and electric start to them. They bought Husqvarna and Gas, just like they did with Husaberg, and rebranded those. They went on to win the prestigious Dakar Rally 18 years in a row. And this has made them the kings of off-road. More than half of all off-road motorcycles that are sold in North America and the European Union are KTM's or one of their sister brands. And they're just not prevalent in the off-road segment. They compete in more forms of motorcycle racing than any other manufacturer. And they have won on almost every level of motorcycle racing imaginable, even in MotoGP. All this has led them to being one of the largest motorcycle brands in the world. And recently, when they surpassed Yamaha in United States sales, I'm sure they took a little extra satisfaction in that. And all of this success can be traced back to the KTM 520. All of this started by filling a void that other manufacturers won't. Because every KTM motorcycle that's built is meant to serve one purpose, and that's to be pushed to the extreme. KTM is a statement brand that aligns itself with statement companies that do radical things. Because their thinking is, if you want overbuilt, conservative, solid machines, you buy Japanese bikes. If you want radical, hardcore, over-the-top machinery, you buy KTM.
Why did I clip that?
That the two big points that I was gonna guess was when all the Japanese manufacturers switched to four-stroke and abandoned two-stroke, KTM kept producing two-strokes and developing them and making them better. And then the part of that more than half of the off-road bikes sold in Europe, right? That's what it was. More than half of them were KTM. Those were the two biggest points.
Good points, but not why I clipped it. And I'm gonna start off by saying that everything that we've done on this subject, we've done with love. And this is just in case, I just like to preface things every once in a while. I clipped this because two main things. They built bikes that Japs wouldn't, and they filled voids. And who have we been saying that needs to build bikes and fill voids? Harley Davidson.
Yeah.
These guys have got a business philosophy that is winning. They are going out and they are, did you hear what the guy called them? The most savage motorcycle company on the planet. Yes. That is what you want to be known as, a fucking savage. You want people. Chase Sexton is the champ this year. He's on a Honda, Team Honda, and he's leaving for KTM. He's one of the baddest dudes coming up. Back in the day, dude, he didn't leave fucking Honda. Ricky left Honda because he had issues with the bike, but Ricky's 4'6". So he might have issues with a lot of bikes. But, Harley needs to be building bikes that there's voids. We need an American manufactured dirt bike.
Yeah.
We need an American manufactured super bike. There is no American manufacturers in motocross, supercross, MotoGP, off-road racing, Dakar Rally, Baja. I can go on and on and on. No United States motorcycle companies are competing in these. And Harley, look at what they did. They went out and bought bikes. They've got a platform that we want to build. we're going to go out and buy their fucking company.
Yep.
And what did I just say a couple weeks ago that Harley needed to do? They needed to go buy Suzuki. They needed to buy the Suzuki RMZ 450 and 250. And now you've got a platform. Now you can fucking build something. You can make something that even KTM won't. We're going to say, hey, KTM's making these Savage machines, but what we're doing is we're making a bike that is custom made. Every part on this is fucking prime time. You're not going to, unless you're a factory rider, you're not going to have to replace one part on this fucking bike. This thing is going to be the baddest, the best looking, especially the best looking.
Yeah.
Imagine what they could do with a super bike. I mean, they had the platform, they had Buell, and they closed it down.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Buell is kind of trying to do all that. They have a dirt bike. They have an adventure bike that I've seen. I don't think any of it's in production, right? It's all just experimental.
I don't
right now,
know, man. I see pictures every once in a while, but I don't really know what the hell is going on with them. And I mean, I think they're independent of Harley at this point.
Yeah. Sure.
I mean, Harley completely let him go. And I mean, Harley finally is making an adventure bike. But I mean, come on.
That's what I was gonna say. It would be super rad to see Harley put their Pan America in the Dakar or in any kind of adventure style race like that. See how it does.
If I was the CEO at Harley, the first thing I would do would be to walk in. I would put on Any Given Sunday, and I would say, it is a crime against America that Steve McQueen is riding a Japanese bike. He always should have been on a Harley, and this is a mistake that we need to rectify immediately. And it wouldn't just be in motocross. That would just be my point. This is the biggest, baddest motorcycle movie that was ever produced. And Steve McQueen, the fucking coolest motorcycle rider of all time, one of the coolest dudes to ever walk the face of the planet, was on a Japanese motorcycle. It's a crime against America, Nolan. So, a couple of months ago, it was on 3/3, so March 3rd, just 2 months ago, I said that I wouldn't be surprised if Harley was out of business or bankrupt within the next 20 years. On that day, Harley Davidson stock was $47. Let me read you the title of an article from 7 days later. Harley Davidson stock moving to top gear. Hold the stock. Here's another one. Harley Davidson is being labeled like a bank stock. It could be an opportunity. That was it when it was at $39. Now it's at $36. So far, I'm looking better than Barron's Magazine. And with that, we're going to call it a night. Nolan, it's been real. It's been fun. Not so real. Good night.